There are lots of building materials about, but being an expert, he chooses only the best. He works with great care, setting the pieces down and fitting them into place. Now he scoops up a mouth of sand to weigh the nest down. This piece is too light. It goes. Nearly finished now, he glides over the nest, dropping a kind of glue out of his body to bind the fibers together. He does this again and again until he is sure they will hold. And all the while, he keeps testing his work and making last-minute improvements. Satisfied at last, he slips into the nest to carve out an entrance, exit, and ventilating chamber, all at the same time. Now, to find the mate. Here is one bulging with eggs. Eagerly, he tries to drive her into the nest, but she fights him off. Now he tries to motion her inside by pointing with his body to the entrance, but still she fails to understand. Finally, he wheels her gently around and guides her directly to the entrance of the nest. At this, she slips inside and begins to deposit her eggs. And after a while, he moves in alongside to fertilize them. But as soon as she is done, he drives her away, never to see her again, and quickly returns to prepare the nest for a new mate who will bring him a second cluster of eggs. Before long, a second female comes by. This time, the courtship is much simpler. He circles about to capture her attention, and then gracefully ushers her into the nest. But the moment she is done, he drives her away too, and immediately passes over the newly laid eggs to fertilize them. Now begins a long watch over the brood, while he fans the eggs with his fins to keep the water flowing freely about them. Here they are now, about the size of poppy seeds, rather beautiful to look at. The light spots are fat, stored up for food for the growing embryos. Meanwhile, the father keeps his watch overhead, still fanning the eggs, occasionally darting for food, but above all, never relaxing his guard. Here's something now. It's only a harmless old water snail. Father Stickleback is taking no chances. So, off you go. He returns to the nest just in time. This one is dangerous. It's a hungry female stickleback hunting a meal. They watch each other cautiously, then thrust their sharp spines at each other in a desperate duel. Finally, the attacker is beaten off. Meanwhile, the eggs have been developing. In each, there is now a living embryo with enormous eyes and a swiftly beating heart. Another stickleback tries to snatch up the eggs, but father is on the alert. A new enemy, a salamander. Hopefully, he moves toward the coveted prize. As the father dives to attack, the salamander scampers off. On the 10th day, the first eggs are hatched. They are still too small to be seen, but very much alive in their new element. It's time, a big fellow. But he's no match for the furious father. The stickleback hammers him with his snout again and again until the perch gives up. Meanwhile, we pay a visit to a neighboring stickleback family. Here, the father has built his nest in a twig. His trouble is in keeping the small fry at home. They keep slipping out, and he must run after them, catch them up in his mouth, and carry them back to the safety of the nest. It's a never-ending task. Now the whole brood is hatched and growing up rapidly. As for the father, his work is done, and though he would readily have given his life to protect any of them, now that they're old enough to take care of themselves, he begins to lose interest in them. A few more, and they're able to find their own food. Now the father forgets about them altogether. They are on their own. And he, in the waters in search of food, is spied one day by a ravenous pike. As long as his spines are out, even the big fellow prefers to keep his distance. But now he sees his chance. And by midsummer, the young are full grown. Soon they will return to the old places. To another, it is the individuals only that change. The race goes on.